and welcome back to another episode. I am on my way right now to my first OBGYN appointment to get an ultrasound and find out the gender of the baby officially, although I already know it's a boy. And on the way home, since it is Valentine's Day week, I'm going to stop by the wholesale florist to grab flowers for the house, make some arrangements when I get home, and grab some groceries to make dinner together. So I will see you guys after my appointment. Okay guys, I'm back from my appointment. I stopped by Smitty's butcher shop and picked up ground beef. I am going to, the oven is preheating. I'm going to put spaghetti squash. I'm gonna cut this in half and stick it on the pan. I'll show you. So that I can do a spaghetti squash, ground beef, and red sauce on top, kind of like a healthier spaghetti bolognese, you could say. I haven't made this in a long time, but it was one of my go-tos in college, and I recently saw Gracie Norton post about it, and I thought, oh my gosh, I used to eat this all the time, let me make it. So I'm gonna do that. I'm also gonna make a little bit of rice for my husband so he can have ground beef and rice, and I picked up a whole bunch of flowers for myself for Valentine's Day. So while the rice is going and the squash is in the oven, I will make some arrangements with you. Now I'm going to scoop out the seeds. Okay, I cut these in half and I took the seeds out. I just want to mention, I am not going to put the pasta sauce in here and eat it out of here, but if I was, I actually would slice it this way because it's easier to eat out of on a plate. When you cut it this way, you often get like a lot of movement. So like I said, I'm gonna scoop this out anyway, so I'm gonna leave it as is. I have the oven preheating to 375. I'm just going to drizzle these with olive oil and then salt. And then that is it. I'm gonna flip them over to go in the oven. And I haven't made spaghetti squash in this oven yet, so we will see. But if you want a little bit more of that steaming effect, you can also pour a little bit of water onto the tray and it will help sort of steam the inside of these. But I'm gonna give it a go this time, just like this, and see how it goes. I'm just putting away some Tupperware, and this is super random, but if you don't store your Tupperware with the lids on, you should. I stack them up. All large rectangular ones will stack together, and each size just gets stacked together on top like that with the lids on. When the lids are off, it really just creates a chaotic Tupperware situation, and I keep mine in deep drawers in the island. Okay, rice, same method as always. I put the rice in here and let it soak in cold water for 3 to 5 minutes, and then I rinsed it 3 times. Now I'm going to put water in here. I don't measure the water like cups of rice to cups of water ratio. I just fill the water up 1 knuckle above the rice. Generous pinch of salt. That's it. Okay, this is super random. I'm about to do floral arrangements, but I haven't talked about fashion, what it feels like in forever. This is a new white t-shirt I got. It's ribbed and it's pretty thick, but it's really, really good quality. I was recommended this by a friend and the brand is AYR. I had never tried it before. I got a small and I needed a couple new white t-shirts to get me through pregnancy to wear with like baggy jeans, which these are Levi's baggy jeans, baggy dad denim. I've had them forever. I have them in literally every single color and I wear them all the time. And then these new shoes. These are Adidas Sambas in I think the color is literally called Almost Yellow colorway. True to size, and I think I got them from Forward, but I will link my outfit down below. And yeah, let's do floral arrangements. Okay, my 2 floral essentials are these scissors, which I think are actually like #1. And then these, which look at the rust. I really need to order a new pair. I keep forgetting. Typically I garden often, but first trimester I've been a little bit tired, and so I haven't gotten out there. And my potted plants, it shows they are not looking so good. That is the one thing. If you like gardening, like potted plants and switching out your front porch, it really does need to be tended to. Unfortunately, it's not one of those things that you can just kind of set it and forget it. You need to water it. I've made it part of my morning routine when I'm on my normal mornings. It's enjoyable to put on a podcast, make a coffee, water your plants, then work out and go for a walk, or vice versa. But I have these garden roses that are sort of like hot pink on the outside, hot pink and coral, and then sort of like orange on the inside for Valentine's Day. This is the only pink thing I got. They were just so pretty. I probably would have gotten more of them and like put it on the kitchen island, but they only had one bunch of these. And so I decided that I would put them in here for my office as a little bit of motivation to get back to my desk. I think I've probably mentioned it on here before, but I, for years, have taken or tried to take, some months are not this way, but I try to take like a course a month or do something to learn every month. And it's been a while, and so I got ahead of the game by, for the new year, gifting myself 2 courses. One is an interior design course, and one is a painting course. I also would like to, at some point, get on, I don't think I'm gonna do this on Skillshare, but I need to get on and do a Adobe Illustrator course. It's been on my list for years, and I just haven't cracked down on it, but it is going to get done during this pregnancy. There's just so much that I would be able to do with that for graphic design and artwork and interiors and even social media. I could make art for the house. I mean, I could just do so many things. I think it would open up a whole new world of creativity for me. So I need to do that also. I did do a little bit of research actually on it while I was on the airplane last night flying home from Montana. And it looks like there are some good courses online, like more like university style courses where you can just sign up for Illustrator and pay for the course. And it's like, some are free, some are like $500. So I think that would be worth it for me. A lot of the other sort of things I've learned, like on Adobe Photoshop, for example, I can do quite a bit on there. And I just used Skillshare. I had a Skillshare membership for a year, and I used it to learn a lot of things like that. Also for like very specific tasks. For example, when I wanted to learn how to make like paper textures on graphic designs, I taught myself how to do that using YouTube. So there are free ways that you can do it. I'll probably just pay for a course because I really want to go deep, and I don't want to have to be scouring the internet for like the next step to learn the next phase of skills. I forgot to mention while I was doing this, but I just measured one stem and then I took it back out, and I am measuring these other stems against it to make sure that it's precise. And then you don't want any leaves touching the water. So often I'll pick off the leaves like to this point. And then if I don't like the way the leaves look, like if they're a little folded or discolored, then I'll just pick off the ones that I don't like. And I'm in the mood for no leaves, so today that's what we're doing. I actually think these need to be much shorter. So I'm going to, and I see they're a little uneven. This isn't my normal method, but I am going to give them a chop so that they're a little tighter in there. Much better. Next, I'm going to do some white tulips. I'm gonna put this in the master bathroom, in between my sink and my husband's sink. And then these little guys, it's a trio of 3. I bought them on Instagram from a vintage seller. And I'm just gonna put 1 tulip stem in each and put them down the dining room table so that we have a little something on the table for Valentine's Day. I haven't styled up the dining table, even though we eat there every night, since Christmas, which is crazy. Normally I keep it styled, but I am just out of the groove a little bit. Although some days I'm not horribly tired, and I haven't been sick at all, thank God. I've had like a pleasant pregnancy, but it's really zapped my creativity. I don't know if that's typical for people, but I really have felt it. Of course, just like anyone, I will have off days, especially if you're a creative person, you know how that is. But to have off weeks or months has not been part of my experience in years. It's not flowing, and I have no desire to really do many creative things right now. They had really beautiful peonies at the store in the most beautiful color pink. They really are my favorite, but they're not in season right now. And so for 1 bunch like this size, for 1 small bunch, it was $43. And that's at the wholesale florist, which was crazy. I don't think I've ever seen them that high. With these, I do peel a lot of the leaves down, because if you leave the leaves with a vase this small, the mouth is not wide enough for that much volume. So I think it's a nicer look to do less leaves, but more flowers. I am now realizing too, well, I shouldn't speak too soon. I guess we'll see if I end up with some extra, but I didn't intentionally buy anything for our nightstands. When I can, I like to have matching vases, one on my nightstand and one on my husband's. And I feel like it's Valentine's Day and I should treat myself. So maybe I'll make a trip later on this week, maybe tomorrow or something, and stop by Trader Joe's and see if they have something different than what I've seen at the wholesale florist, so that I can do that. I guess if I don't have anything left over, but I have a feeling I won't. And I really like for them to match. I don't want to put different flowers on each nightstand. Okay, squash has been in for 35 minutes instead of 30. This is a little bit of tallow on a cast iron pan. I'm putting this at high heat and I'm gonna let this melt down, and when it gets piping hot, I'm going to add some ground beef that I got from the butcher. Sorry salt. This is the savory blend. Okay, I'm just gonna remove half of this for my husband, I'm adding a little bit of this carbone marinara. Normally I have, well, I make homemade red sauce and I do have some in the freezer, but I forgot to thaw it out, so I just grabbed this from the store on my way home from the OBGYN. I'm going to scoop this into my plate off camera, but I just wanted to show you that it really does form like nice noodles. And you can just eat it out of this, put the meat and sauce and everything in here, but I'm going to properly plate it. I added a little extra sauce. You can also add ricotta cheese or Parmesan. I'm gonna do Parmesan. Black pepper. And that's it. Low carb pasta bolognese. Okay guys, thank you for watching. That is all for this week's video. If you made it this far, please like this video and subscribe, and I will catch you guys next week for another one. Bye.